There it goes. Now we got audio.
What's going on, guys?
Taking a couple trades today already. I got three trades, two losses. Let me try that again. I have three trades, two wins, one loss. I'm up about $170 today. Just using trend lines as support and resistance, and a little bit of volume profile to see where prices might stall out and give me some trade entries. I was really close to taking three contracts up into profit, but it came within like a couple of ticks of my entry and never filled me, and then rallied. So from this area here, rallied back up. My orders were right here. So what we got so far? This was a diagram kind of what price action's been doing today. Okay. Right here. So that's what price looks like right now. Using trend lines. So this one was broken. This downward trend line was one touch, two touch, three touch, broken, retested almost perfectly with a wick there. So we're gonna get rid of that one. This trend line here, it was an offshoot of that first one. It was touched here, here, broken through. Never retested though. We're gonna go ahead and get rid of it though. And so we're on this main trend line right here, and the only one that I can see. Well, there's potentially two. There's one here, and then there's one from this low to this high. I just made a video today on trend lines and how simple they are to use, but how much value you get out of them. They can tell you so much. So if you haven't seen that, watch that. But yeah, so we're looking at this and this. Either one of these trend lines will do. Since trend lines are more of a zone, I would count all of this as an area that I would want to get involved in. Okay? Put my stop somewhere below here. Alright? I also want to get involved on this break. This break here. This high right here was 41.38. This peaked above... this high was 41.38.25. This high was 41.38. So a tick below this zone, it peaked. Okay? And fell away into this rectangle pattern that we have forming right here. So if it breaks above this, I want to be in. I have this as marked as an X before. And up here, it's kind of an X, but it's still kind of, I got a question mark because I'm undecided on where it wants to go. I think the overall trend is up. If you look at this tick chart here, I got the tick chart over here in the corner here. Let me just bring it into focus here. The ticks have spent most of their day. As you can see, they're above zero, and they're above 600 for some of the day. They haven't really ticked up to 1,000 though. Looks like they did it about 9:30 when we got that first big rally. But ever since then, they've just been kind of chopping around here in the dead zone. The dead zone is basically from 600 to negative 600. It's kind of like, there's a little bit of a direction, but no real conviction, right? But look at the ad decline, and this is the number of companies that have gone, that are red versus green, net, right? So if you have 100 companies that are green and you have 500 companies that are red, net, you're going to be 500 green because you're going to minus the 500 red from the 1,000 green, and you're going to be net 500 red. So that's what this is showing you. I made a video about that. It's one of my favorite internals to use. Because against this, I lose. Whenever I trade with it, I have a pretty good trading day. So just putting some trend lines on it. I don't want to see it take out these lows. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it come below this trend line. I'm actually going to put an alert on here now. Okay, I want to see it continue to uptrend. We're only at 200 companies green, but look where we started the day. We started the day at 1837 negative. So damn near 2,000 more companies in the market have gone green since the open. So that's useful information to know, right? So that's something that I have pulled up here. Just shrink that in the corner so you guys can see. Maybe you can see. I don't know if it's really helpful or not, but try to give you a complete picture of what I'm looking at here. So it's looking like we might be gathering some strength here. I do have RSI up here with a 5-period moving average on it. You can see that up here it kind of topped out and now it's been trading below its 5-period. Okay. Let's go to the 3 minutes, see what it's doing there. Yeah, really big dip here. Okay, but we're starting to see this grinding up. It's on its 20, on its 3. It's just grinding up. So I could potentially enter here for a break. And then my stop would be down here. Let's see what that stop is. Stop's about 10 points. About 15 points. So this is a micro. So a $75 stop. If I believe that I want to get in here for the break above. But I would rather take the break. In fact, I'm going to move the break up a little bit. Move the break up. I want to be convinced by this break here. Okay. This line here is where I got out on my last trade from, I want to say it was down here. So I went from here to here. Like I said, I had 2 orders parked here to get filled, but it never got down that far. Just barely got down to right here where I drew these little lines. Never wicked me and never filled me. So if that would have happened, though, I could have went up with 3 contracts. 2 of them from here to here, which is 27 points. So that's like, what, $5 a tick? That's almost $300. About $300, a little bit more. In just these 2 contracts down here. And then this one here that I bought here I could have went up with. But, you know, you're going to miss trades. But I have been using this trend line to guide me as far as not wanting to buy, you know, too far away from it. And wanting to stay near it if possible, and having it be my guide for the trend. So I'm at 499 subscribers, guys. Isn't that crazy? I'm almost at 500 subscribers. I've been stuck at 499 for a minute here. Let's see. So we're just in a wait and see pattern right now. Nothing really to see here. I started live streaming earlier this morning, and I was listening to music in my headphones, and I didn't know that the mic was picking it up. So it picked it up enough for YouTube to say you're infringing on copyrights, and they took me out. So I just decided to just record my screen normally, and get on with my life. But I thought I'd pop back in now that I'm not listening to music. So we've come up here and we've kind of consolidated into this area here. And you can see that when it was here before, as price went up, there was less and less interest in buying. So that was up here, from here down. We now have a swing though that we can justify putting another one on. Let's do this. Let's do that right here and see where we are. So on this swing up, we've got an imbalance down here. Got a low volume node right here. So what do we expect price to do at this area? Well, we expect it to pass through it freely, right? Because no one wants to trade there. Now, if it comes down and starts filling this area in, right, for efficiency, we can decide what it's going to do then, because right below this area is a high volume node right here. Okay. And then that kind of drops off here, and then you have another low volume node there briefly, and then a little bit more volume here. Okay, and then you have a little bit more volume here before we drop off into the value area low, which, as you can see, supported price before. So we're just trying to get a picture of what the market wants to do. Still in an uptrend. We're going to take a look at the 60-minute chart here. This was let's hide all the drawings here. So this trend here, I have to draw it with this. This trend right here is what I have on the 60-minute chart. Okay, that line there. Oh, come on. It's not going to act right. I know what we'll do. We'll do this. We'll do this on them. Copy that. Bring that up there. Bring this down here now. Go back to the 3-minute chart. Bring this down here. So we check this out here. This is where I'm focused on the hourly chart. This trend right here, this movement right here, this does connect all the way up here. And then you have a small one down here. So this morning when I was live streaming, I talked about how this chart here was in a long-term channel, and then it bounced right here. It bounced right here and moved up. So you have your demand zone down here, came back down and wicked it right here, went back up. Now you have your supply zone here, and that's where we are currently. So we're either going to break through this,
It's 1 o'clock p.m.
which would also break through this level right here. And we're not really out of the woods because we could just want to come up and close this gap then to continue down more bearish. Okay, so that's a possibility as well. Or we could also break up through here, take out these people here, and then continue down more bearish. So it'd be even more confusing if there was a break here, got a lot of more people long, and then took them all out. Okay, so let's see what it wants to do. I mean, it can do whatever it wants to do, but we're using trend lines and things to frame our trade here. So it's falling into this low value, why can't I ever say, I'm gonna just say LVN. It's falling into this LVN here, and it's either gonna reject it or it's gonna blow right through it down to this node here. Because from this push up, from this whole push up from here to here, the most traded price is right here. And you can see that it spent a lot of time in this area. So there was a lot of accumulation here for higher prices. And you could, this could also be an accumulation that we're in right now to go higher, or it could be a distribution. We don't know until it picks a direction. So we just sit and wait. Sit and wait until it picks a direction. Relax. Sip coffee. Okay, this RSI is heating up here. So we've got 1, 2, 3 rejections from this low, this LVN here. And now we're getting some real good buying pressure coming in. I'll show you guys here. You guys see how these ticks have picked up? You guys see that? See how the ticks are climbing? When they get above this green, that's above 600. Okay. Come on, it won't let me grab my other screen, guys. I'm having issues here. Here we go. So the ticks have fallen off again a little bit. Let's do this for right now. Ticks have kind of fallen off again. They pushed up. Couldn't hold this 600 area. So the reason the ticks are important, because I talk about them a lot, and I haven't made a video about them yet, but the reason the ticks are important is because they're telling you that that this is the number of companies moving on a downtick and on an uptick. So when you have, you know, out of, let's say, you know, 2,000 companies, if you've got a third of them or half of them moving on an uptick, that's pretty significant, because who has enough money to do that? Who has enough money to be buying enough companies to move them up at the same time? Well, obviously institutions do. So you know you're looking at institutional buying when you have something like this, when they can simultaneously push hundreds of companies up at the same time or down at the same time. They're either aggressively buying or they're aggressively selling, and those are called buy and sell programs. So when they hit and you see this big spike here like we did around 9:30, I want to say this was, they pushed almost 1,200 companies up at the same time. So at one point, 1,200 companies were moving up, and institutions are the only ones that have the money to do that. So that's why I look at the ticks. But down here, let's do this. Down here, the add decline is also still advancing. So you've had this chop. You've had this chop inside of here, this sideways price movement. But look at add decline. It's not chopping around at all. It's advancing. You see that? So this is probably going to be a move up here. Probably not going to get my fill here. But let's see if they have enough momentum to break through this barrier. That was an X here. Let's see if it can turn into an O. Support price, and we can get in on this break and run a little higher. Because add decline is it's not backing down. There it is. So we just got a break, and we are in this trade right now. The ticks are over 800, so you got 800 companies moving up here on this tick. You have add decline moving up. I'm comfortable enough to buy another one. I'd like a better price. I like it closer to this line right here, closer to these areas right here. But this is a zone, so I'd like it to be somewhere in this zone that I can buy. Anywhere in this, I'm gonna make it a box. Anywhere in this box. This yellow box I'd be looking to buy here. So we've broken out of this box. We've taken all the liquidity that was here and here. Okay, now if we can't sustain a movement up, price is going to want to come down and run all of these wicks here to get more orders to go back up. Okay, but if we continue forward, if this candle closes and it's green, and it's a nice close, I'm going to be looking to get in at the close of this candle with a market order. So let's see how this close goes for this 3-minute candle here. Because of this also, we now have a steeper trend line that we can draw from here to here. You guys see that? So it rejected this LVN here. You guys see that? There was no volume in this area, and it did not want to trade back into this area. So that candle's green. I'm going to go ahead and get in for one more contract. Okay, I'm now in for 2 contracts. We're just going to ride this up and see what happens. Nice push off there. You guys see the ticks are pushing up with it. You guys see that? Ticks are pushing to over 1,000. We just talked about what can make a group of companies move at the same time, big money. So they're still buying this market right now. We're approaching this. which is that. Look at RSI pushing up here. It's actually pushing past the high of the day, so it's stronger than it's been all day. Leaving its 5-period moving average behind. And we're pushing, pushing, pushing. Pushing up. Okay, we got the tick cooling down here. It's pushed over 1,000. It's cooling down. Look at the ad decline though. Look at that ad decline. Let's do this. Let's see if we can put this up here. All right, so we got this ad decline here. Remove the display. Pushing up here, got about a $45 trade so far. Ticks are kind of cooling off here. But look at this ad decline. Look at that. Look at that boy shoot up there. Look at these companies going green right here. You see that? So we've actually broken this downward trend line that I put on the ad decline. Okay? So that's telling me now that I can attach another trend line to the upward one to see how its momentum is playing out. Look at that. Let's try this so I don't have to keep fooling with multiple windows here. Let's do this. Let's delete that. Let's come over here. And let's put the ADD over here with this. What are we going to do here? Compare. Add it in a new pane. Add the tick in a new pane. Okay. It's not as pretty as I have it over on the other screen, but I think this might be a little bit better. It's easier to see. Oh no, I added it twice. I want the tick over here. There it is. New pane. Alright, there's the tick. So we got ticks at 854. 854 companies are moving up on an uptick right now. Net. So only big money can move multiple companies like that. So this is definitely, institutional participation. We have a line, the 60-minute line coming up here. And we got let's go to the hour chart here. Yeah, that's that 60-minute right here. So it's coming up fast. I'm looking to see what it's going to do at this zone here. We've had one touch here, one touch, two touch, three touch. This will be the fourth touch. Now, if price is able to come up here, if price comes up here, okay, above this, it's going to have to get above this, and then comes back down through here, which it's probably going to do either way. I doubt it's just going to run all the way up through this, because it wants more orders. They want more orders down in this area here. So they'll probably come back and fulfill this low value node down here. This is getting really cluttered. Let me get rid of this stuff. Okay. So let's reassess real quick. Let's go to the 60. $60-minute. That's where we are right now. So we've touched this line up at the top. This morning we were down here. This morning we were right here when we opened. And as we expected, we continued there. Jonathan's saying, I'm in a US 30 sell. How long do you think the indices will rise for a temporary surge then drop, or what? So I was just talking about that, Jonathan. I think that we're going to see, right now we're still in a down trend because we haven't gotten above this high. This was the last swing high. So if you just take this diagram and you go from high to low to high to low to high, this is where we're at right now. Damn it, I lost it. So we have to get above this high here. And if the market wants to continue down, it would make sense to pull above this high, like somewhere up here, and then drop back down, because that would make people think that we're getting ready to go long. You know, we're really bullish. That would get a lot of people long here, and then you could use their sell stops on the way back down. So I'll be on the lookout for that. But right now, I mean, I wouldn't be short unless it told you it was going short. And they declined to go short here this morning. When we touch this trend line again down here, they declined to go short. So they're going long right now. So, I mean, I wouldn't be short right now unless they're telling you they want to go short. But we are tapping this line right here. I'm interested to see, are we going to break through this, or are we going to come back into the channel here? So back to the 3-minute. What is going on? It's telling me I'm being disconnected. My session's disconnected. You or somebody else just logged into your account from a different device. Browser Safari. So yeah, just following this trend line here. If it was indeed you, just click connect. You can continue working. If not, change your password and turn on two-factor authentication. What the hell? Someone's trying to jack my account. Is that what's going on here? There we go. Now we're getting some movement. Okay, I don't know what's going on here. I'm going to have to stop this stream till I find out, though.